Imagine this, a magnetic smile, words that wrap around your soul like velvet, promising the world in a single glance. You feel seen, desired, alive, but beneath that intoxicating charm lies a predator's grin, a narcissist, weaving their web of deception. You've been there, we all have, and the cost, shattered trust, stolen dreams, a heart left in ruins. Welcome to the reckoning. In this unflinching journey, inspired by the razor, sharp wisdom of Jordan Peterson, will rip the mask off narcissistic allure forever. Stop falling, start rising, do this instead. Your liberation begins now. Picture this, you're at a bustling party, the room alive with laughter and clinking glasses. Across the crowd, someone catches your eye, a figure radiating confidence, their stories captivating, their compliments making you feel like the center of the universe. It's exhilarating, isn't it? That rush of connection, the spark of being truly understood. But what if that allure is a carefully crafted facade, designed not to elevate you, but to ensnare? In the intricate dance of human relationships, narcissistic charm operates like a silent predator, luring us into webs we never saw coming. Drawing from profound psychological insights, this exploration delves into how such deception permeates our lives and, more importantly, the steps we can take to shatter its hold and reclaim our path. At its core, narcissistic charm is a masterful illusion, a blend of charisma and manipulation that preys on our deepest desires for validation and belonging. These individuals don't just enter a room, they command it, weaving narratives that position them as heroes or victims in equal measure, always ensuring the spotlight remains firmly on them. In everyday life, this manifests in friendships that start with intense bonding, late night confessions, shared secrets that make you feel uniquely chosen. Yet, as time unfolds, the dynamic shifts. Your achievements become threats, your needs secondary. It's a subtle erosion, like waves wearing down a cliff, leaving you questioning your own perceptions. Why does this happen? Because beneath the charm lies a fragile ego, one that feeds on admiration while offering little in return. In professional settings, it might appear as the boss who praises your ideas publicly only to claim them as their own, or the colleague whose flattery masks a competitive undercurrent. The danger lies in its subtlety. It's not overt aggression, but a velvet-gloved control that leaves you disoriented. Consider how this plays out in romantic entanglements, where the stakes are often highest. The initial phase is a whirlwind, grand gestures, poetic declarations that echo your wildest dreams. You think you've found a soulmate, someone who mirrors your aspirations perfectly. But as the relationship deepens, cracks emerge. Disagreements turn into blame-shifting marathons where your faults are magnified and theirs vanish into excuses. It's a cycle of idealization followed by devaluation, leaving emotional scars that linger long after the bond breaks. In family dynamics, it could be the parent who showers affection conditionally, using charm to maintain dominance, or the sibling whose envy masquerades as support. These patterns aren't random, they're rooted in a lack of empathy, a core trait that allows narcissists to prioritize their narrative over mutual growth. The impact on life is profound. Trust erodes, self-doubt festers, and isolation creeps in, turning vibrant individuals into shadows of themselves. What makes even the sharpest minds susceptible? It's not a lack of intelligence, quite the opposite. Often, those with rich inner worlds, thinkers, dreamers, empaths are prime targets because they seek depth and meaning. Narcissists exploit this by mirroring back an idealized version of you, tapping into vulnerabilities forged in past experiences. If you've known neglect or criticism, their initial warmth feels like balm on old wounds. In a society that glorifies charisma, think social media influencers with their polished personas. We are conditioned to equate charm with worth. But here's the twist. True connection builds slowly through actions that demonstrate reliability, not just words that dazzle. Intelligent people fall because they rationalize the inconsistencies, attributing them to stress or misunderstanding, unwilling to confront the discomfort of disillusionment. It's a cognitive trap where hope overrides evidence, prolonging exposure to toxicity that drains energy and stifles potential. To navigate this, awareness becomes your first line of defense. Pay attention to the mismatches between words and deeds. Does their empathy extend beyond surface level, or does it evaporate when inconvenient? Watch for patterns of grandiosity, conversations that always circle back to their triumphs, dismissing yours. In life, this means cultivating a keen observer's eye, not paranoia, but a balanced skepticism honed through reflection. Journaling interactions can reveal recurring themes, like how compliments often precede requests or how conflicts end with you apologizing. Surround yourself with diverse perspectives. Friends who offer honest feedback can spotlight blind spots. Education plays a pivotal role. Understanding the psychological underpinnings demystifies the charm, transforming it from an enigma to a recognizable strategy. Books on personality dynamics, therapy sessions focused on boundaries. These tools equip you to discern genuine from contrived. Yet, recognition alone isn't enough. Action must follow. Building resilience starts from within, fortifying your sense of self against external validations. Engage in pursuits that foster independence. Hobbies that challenge and fulfill, like creative writing or physical training, reminding you of your intrinsic value. In relationships, set clear boundaries early, communicate needs without apology, and observe responses. A healthy partner will respect them. A narcissist will test or ignore. Practice self-compassion, acknowledging that falling for charm doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. Over time, this inner work shifts your attractions toward authenticity, where vulnerability is shared, not exploited. As you progress, strategies for fostering real connections emerge. Seek out environments that prioritize substance over spectacle, communities built on shared values, like volunteer groups or intellectual circles, where bonds form through collective effort rather than individual charisma. In professional life, document contributions meticulously, ally with mentors who model integrity, and learn to negotiate without fear of rejection. Romantically, pace the progression, resist the urge to dive headfirst, allowing time to reveal character. Listen actively, but also probe gently. Ask about their failures, their growth, and gauge the humility in responses. Life in this lens becomes a deliberate journey where each interaction teaches discernment. Empowerment extends beyond avoidance. It's about thriving in spite of past encounters. Channel experiences into wisdom, perhaps mentoring others or advocating for mental health awareness. Physical health ties into regular exercise, nourishing diets, ample rest. These bolster emotional fortitude, making you less susceptible to manipulation. Mindfulness practices like meditation sharpen focus, helping you stay present rather than swept away by flattery. Financial independence is another pillar. Economic autonomy reduces dependency, allowing freer choices in relationships. In broader society, narcissistic tendencies ripple outward, influencing politics, business, and culture. Leaders who charm with promises but deliver division exemplify this on a grand scale, swaying masses through rhetoric that preys on fears and aspirations. Countering this requires civic engagement, voting informed by facts, supporting transparent institutions, and fostering dialogues that bridge divides. On a personal level, it means modeling the change, being the reliable friend, the empathetic partner, the principled colleague. Life's tapestry weaves richer when threaded with authenticity, where growth is mutual and joy sustainable. The journey reshapes not just interactions but your entire world view. Priorities shift toward long-term fulfillment over fleeting highs. Creativity flourishes in safe spaces, unhindered by doubt. Relationships deepen, built on trust that withstands storms. Self-mastery emerges as the ultimate reward, a quiet confidence that no charm can unsettle. Picture a serene evening walk in a park, the sun dipping low, casting golden hues over everything. You strike up a conversation with a stranger who seems utterly fascinating, witty, attentive, hanging on your every word. It's like they've unlocked a part of you no one else sees. But as weeks turn to months, that initial glow fades, replaced by subtle demands, emotional roller coasters, and a nagging sense that you're always one step behind in an unspoken game. This is the insidious grip of narcissistic charm at work, a force that infiltrates every corner of life, from personal bonds to professional arenas, and even the broader societal stage. Drawing from deep psychological explorations, we uncover how this charm operates, its dual faces, and the empowering shifts you can make to safeguard your world. In the tapestry of daily existence, narcissistic charm acts as a chameleon, adapting to exploit our innate yearning for connection and affirmation. These personalities don't merely interact, they perform, crafting an image that's irresistible at first blush. One face of this is the bold, overt type. Think of the individual who dominates conversations with tales of grandeur, exuding confidence that borders on arrogance. They seek endless praise, feeling entitled to it, and wield manipulation to keep their ego inflated, often at the expense of others' well-being. In life's relationships, this might show as a partner who starts with lavish affection, but soon turns exploitative, reacting with fury to any hint of critique. Professionally, it's the leader who charms investors with visionary promises, but discards team members who question their methods, fostering a toxic environment where loyalty is demanded but rarely reciprocated. Then there's the subtler variant, hidden behind layers of apparent vulnerability. Here, the charm is laced with hints of insecurity, drawing you in as a rescuer or confidant. These individuals harbor deep shame and resentment, often retreating socially when feeling exposed, yet they employ passive tactics to control narratives, positioning themselves as perpetual victims. In family life, this could be the relative who guilts you into endless support, their hypersensitivity turning minor slights into major dramas. Socially, it's the friend who subtly undermines your successes while cloaking it in concern, eroding your confidence over time. Both forms thrive on our empathy, turning it into a tool for their agenda, leaving trails of confusion and self-doubt in their wake. Life's political and cultural landscapes amplify this dynamic, where narcissistic charm masquerades as leadership or activism. Imagine public figures who captivate with charismatic speeches, promising unity but delivering division, their self-serving motives hidden under layers of virtue signaling. This ties into broader personality clusters, where traits like predatory opportunism and delight in others' misfortune blend with a hunger for unearned status. In governance, it's the politician who waves away criticism with deflective charm, labeling opposition as fear, mongering while enacting policies that punish dissent. Culturally, movements that claim moral high ground often veil manipulative agendas, exploiting public anxieties for power. We've seen this in corporate realms too, where companies push ideological trainings under the guise of enlightenment, but really it's a hypocritical bid for image control, alienating customers in the process. The toll on individual lives is staggering, infiltrating mental health, productivity, and even physical well-being. Victims often grapple with eroded self-worth, chronic stress manifesting as sleepless nights or health issues, their once vibrant pursuits dimmed by constant second-guessing. In romantic spheres, the cycle of adoration followed by devaluation can lead to isolation as trusted networks fray under the narcissist's influence. Professionally, it stifles innovation, with teams walking on eggshells, creativity sacrificed to appease egos. On a societal level, when such charm infects institutions, it breeds cynicism. Think of health organizations framing every crisis through victimhood lenses, manipulating narratives to expand control rather than solve problems. This pervasive influence warps collective trust, turning communities into battlegrounds of resentment. Why do we succumb? It's wired into our social fabric. Humans are drawn to confidence, mistaking it for competence. Intelligent, compassionate souls are especially vulnerable, their depth providing fertile ground for mirroring tactics where the narcissist reflects back an idealized self. In a world saturated with social media facades, we're primed to value polish over substance, overlooking red flags like inconsistent actions or victim playing. Yet, awareness illuminates the path forward. Recognize the patterns, conversations that always pivot to their glory, empathy that's performative rather than genuine. In life, this means auditing relationships. Does the energy exchange uplift or drain? Document discrepancies to break the gaslighting spell. Shifting gears requires inner fortification. Cultivate self-reliance through pursuits that affirm your worth independently. Perhaps rigorous exercise regimes that build physical and mental resilience, or intellectual endeavors like reading on personality dynamics to sharpen discernment. Establish firm boundaries, articulate them clearly, and enforce consequences without guilt. In dealings with overt types, withdraw admiration strategically, starving the ego that thrives on it. For the covert, avoid the rescuer trap by offering empathy without entanglement, redirecting focus to mutual accountability. Broadening this to societal armor, advocate for transparency in leadership, and actions match rhetoric, supporting figures who prioritize competence over charisma. In cultural battles, like debates over identity and rights, call out narcissistic overreaches, such as enforced language shifts that serve personal agendas over communal harmony. Engage in communities that value truth, fostering dialogues that bridge rather than divide. Health-wise, integrate mindfulness to stay grounded, preventing emotional hijacks. Economically, pursue independence to avoid dependency on manipulative systems. As these strategies take root, life transforms, relationships become havens of reciprocity, careers avenues for genuine achievement, society a mosaic of authentic contributions. Creativity surges in environments free from ego wars, personal growth accelerates unhindered by doubt. Even in adversity, like navigating political turbulence, equipped with this wisdom, you steer toward stability. The journey demands vigilance, but the rewards, a life of depth, resilience, and true connection, unfold layer by layer. Imagine standing at the edge of a bustling city street, horns blaring, lives intersecting in a chaotic symphony. You lock eyes with a sharply dressed stranger who flashes a smile that cuts through the noise, offering a compliment so precise it feels destined. In that instant, a bridge forms electric, profound, But as days blur into weeks, that bridge reveals itself as a tightrope, stretched taut over an abyss of unmet promises and shifting sands. This is narcissistic charm in its raw essence, a siren song echoing through the corridors of modern life, from fleeting encounters to lifelong commitments. Rooted in timeless psychological truths, we peel back the layers to reveal how it shapes our existence, and the bold maneuvers that turn vulnerability into unshakable power. In the heartbeat of everyday routines, narcissistic charm doesn't announce itself with fanfare. It slips in like morning fog, subtle and enveloping. Consider the coworker who greets you with infectious enthusiasm, collaborating seamlessly on projects that skyrocket your shared success. Their energy is contagious, fueling late-night brainstorming sessions where ideas flow like wine. Yet, when promotions loom, their narrative rewrites history. Your contributions fade into footnotes, their charm now a shield against accountability. This isn't isolated. It's the blueprint for professional sabotage, where initial alliances mask a zero-sum game. Life's work spheres become battlefields, productivity plummeting as teams fracture under the weight of stolen credit and whispered alliances. The charm's genius lies in its reciprocity illusion, giving just enough to hook, then extracting exponentially more, leaving you depleted yet inexplicably loyal. Shift to the intimate realm of home and hearth, where the stakes pierce deepest. Picture a family dinner, laughter bubbling as the charismatic uncle spins yarns of adventure, drawing every gaze. Children idolize him, adults lean in, his presence elevating the ordinary to epic. But behind closed doors his charm curdles, debts go unpaid, promises evaporate, and blame cascades downward like a waterfall. In parental roles, it manifests as the doting figure whose affection hinges on performance, molding kids into extensions of their ego rather than independent souls. Siblings caught in this orbit learn early that rivalry trumps unity, their bonds strained by favoritism disguised as fairness. Life's familial fabric unravels thread by thread, breeding resentment that echoes across generations, turning holidays into minefields and inheritances into contests of manipulation. Social circles amplify the drama, transforming casual hangouts into stages for performance art. The group's magnetic center arrives with flair, organizing outings that sparkle with novelty, rooftop parties, spontaneous road trips, making you feel part of something extraordinary. Their attentiveness is laser-focused, remembering quirks others overlook, forging a sense of elite belonging. But cracks spiderweb, invitations dry up when you shine too bright, gossip subtly erodes your standing, and conflicts resolve with you as the villain. In friendships, this charm fosters codependency, where your role shrinks to audience member, your stories sidelined for their soliloquies. Life's social tapestry, meant for mutual uplift, warps into a hierarchy where empathy is currency, hoarded by the one who dispenses it stingily. Zoom out to the digital age, where narcissistic charm explodes across screens, a pixelated plague reshaping reality. Scroll through feeds, and there they are, influencers with flawless feeds, dropping wisdom bombs that resonate like personal letters. Their vulnerability posts, raw confessions of struggle, pull you into comment section confessions, building parasocial bonds that feel achingly real. Brands latch on, collaborations promising transformation, but the underbelly reveals sponsored facades propping fragile egos. In online dating, profiles gleam with curated charisma, opening lines that mirror your bio perfectly, leading to marathon chats that eclipse real dates. Yet, ghosting follows idealization, leaving digital debris, unread messages, blocked accounts, that litters your emotional landscape. Life's virtual layers blur boundaries, amplifying isolation as algorithms feed us more charm, less substance, turning connection into consumption. Why does this web ensnare so thoroughly? Its evolutionary sleight of hand, our brains light up for confidence signals, mistaking them for alliance strength in ancestral tribes. Modern life accelerates the fall, busyness blinds us to patterns, past traumas prime us for rescue fantasies, and cultural worship of hustle equates flash with depth. High achievers tumble hardest, their pattern recognition skills hijacked by overanalysis, rationalizing red flags as quirks. In a post-pandemic world craving normalcy, that first warm interaction hits like oxygen, overriding gut instincts honed by solitude. Awakening demands detective work woven into daily rhythms. Track the charm's rhythm. Does praise precede asks? Does vulnerability invite yours without reciprocation? In offices, log emails and meetings, creating irrefutable trails that neuter credit theft. At home, family meetings become boundary boot camps. State needs plainly, like I require equal input here, and measure compliant. Socially, diversify circles. Introduce low-stakes observers who call out imbalances without bias. Digitally, curate feeds ruthlessly, mute the charmers, follow accountability, focused creators, and enforce swipe limits to pace revelations. Fortifying the self is the cornerstone, a daily ritual of reclamation. Dawn with movement, frail runs that sink breath to earth, rebuilding sovereignty over body and mind. Evenings, reflective journaling dissects interactions, what drained, what energized. Pursue solo mastery. Master a skill like coding or gardening, where success stems from within, not applause. Nutrition fuels this fortress. Whole foods sharpen cognition, warding off fog that dulls discernment. Sleep sanctuaries, cool, dark rooms restore clarity, preventing exhaustion's surrender to charm. In action, deploy precision strikes. Professionally, ally with integrity networks. Pitch ideas in writing, seeing stakeholders to etch your name indelibly. Romantically, institute truth weeks and no holds. Barred shares of flaws, gauging humility in responses. Familially, rotate leadership roles, diluting dominance. Socially, practice gracious exits. This feels off. Balance, let's recalibrate. Online, watermark contributions, watermark your worth. Publicly credit sources, fostering a culture of fairness. Societally, this ripples into activism. Champion workplaces with 360 reviews, exposing charm's underbelly. In education, teach kids patterns, potting through role, play arming future generations. Politically, back policies auditing leader transparency, term limits, ethics boards that starve ego feasts. Culturally, amplify stories of quiet heroes, shifting spotlights from dazzle to diligence. Health systems gain too, integrate personality screening and therapy, preventing charm from colonizing care. As these threads interlace, life's cadence quickens with authenticity. Work yields breakthroughs untainted by theft, homes hum with equitable harmony, friendships deepen into lifelines. Digital spaces become tools, not traps, curating communities of substance. Creativity erupts, paintings born from unjudged souls, ventures launched without parasitic partners. Even in chaos, like economic shifts or social upheavals, your compass holds true, navigating toward alliances that endure. Physical vitality surges, stress alchemy turning into stamina for pursuits that matter. The mundane elevates, coffee chats reveal allies, errands unearth opportunities, each moment a canvas for intentional strokes. Relationships evolve into symphonies, notes blending without one drowning others. Self-trust blooms, a quiet force propelling bold leaps from career pivots to heartfelt confessions. In this recalibrated world, charm's echo fades, replaced by the steady pulse of genuine stride. Imagine the quiet hum of a morning train, commuters lost in their screens and thoughts, when a voice breaks through smooth, assured, striking up a chat that turns your mundane ride into a highlight reel. They remember your stop, your favorite book, making you feel like the only passenger in a sea of strangers. Days later, plans unfold effortlessly, their energy pulling you into adventures you never imagined. But slowly, the script flips, your schedule bends to theirs, your stories overshadowed, a creeping fatigue settling in like uninvited fog. This is narcissistic charm weaving its spell through the veins of ordinary life, a force as omnipresent as gravity, shaping careers, families, friendships, and even the digital dreams we chase. Grounded in piercing psychological revelations, we journey deeper into its mechanics, exposing how it hijacks our days and the transformative tactics that reclaim every fleeting moment. In the rhythm of workdays, this charm masquerades as rocket fuel, propelling teams to dizzying heights before parachuting solo. Envision the project lead whose whiteboard charisma ignites ideas, rallying everyone with nods and we're in this together, vibes that erase overtime gripes. Deadlines crush under collective fire, bonuses roll in, and you toast their genius. Then comes the quarterly review. Their presentation polishes your brainstorms into their legacy, questions deflected with that same disarming grin. Careers stall in these shadows, promotions evaporating as charm builds empires on borrowed bricks. Life's professional grind morphs into a loyalty lottery where innovation withers, coders second, guest commits, marketers mute bold campaigns, fearing the ego eclipse. The ripple hits wallets and wellness. Burnout spikes, side hustles fizzle, dreams of entrepreneurship buried under survival mode. Turn to the hearth of family life, where charm paints idyllic portraits that crack under pressure. Picture weekend barbecues, the affable patriarch flipping burgers while dispensing life lessons that glue generations. Kids beam, spouses nod, anecdotes flowing like barbecue sauce, sweet, sticky, inescapable. Yet, beneath the grill smoke, finances fray, impulsive splurges justified as family fun, debts mounting while your savings shrink to support the spotlight. Adult children inherit this blueprint, choosing partners who dazzle grandparents but drain inheritances. Life's generational legacy twists. Holidays devolve into obligation marathons. Elder care becomes guilt-fueled extortion. Bonds fraying into functional facades. Emotional inheritance weighs heavy. Grandkids learn affection is transactional. Therapy bills stack as unresolved resentments surface in therapy sessions disguised as check-ins. Friendships, those voluntary lifelines, fall prey next, turning casual coffees into calculated conquests. The crew's spark-plug texts at dawn, epic hike today, your vibes needed, trails conquered, summit selfies explode feeds, bonds feeling unbreakable. Their listening ear unpacks your heartaches, advice landing like wisdom from on high. But reciprocity wanes, your invites ignored amid their crazy schedules, triumphs met with one, upmanship wrapped in just sharing, social lives hollow out, group chats dominate their drama, your hobbies sidelined as selfish. Life's leisure erodes into echo chambers, weekends wasted mediating their feuds, true confidants drifting as energy ebbs. Isolation creeps, masked as loyalty, until mirrors reflect a shell, vibrant souls dimmed by perpetual supporting roles. Enter the virtual vortex where narcissistic charm scales to infinity, hijacking scrolls and swipes. Late night TikToks deliver that creator's aha moment, vulnerability reel hitting your exact ache, comments flooding with your story's twin. DM open portals, collabs proposed, merch swaps, a tribe forming overnight, their lives, jet-set edits, humble brag hauls, inspire your glow-up, followers surging in tandem, but algorithms amplify the hook, sponsored authenticity, unravels into paid ploys, ghosted promises leaving creator burnout. Dating apps amplify it. matches mirroring manifestos, video calls electric with shared visions, yet post-bliss inconsistencies pile, flaked plans love, bombed then benched. Life's online orbit spins dizzy, productivity tanks to trend, chasing self-esteem yo's with like counts, real-world ties atrophying as filters outshine flesh. What alchemy makes this inescapable? Its primal programming, mirror neurons fire for rapport, dopamine rewards the chosen one. Rush, bypassing logic's gatekeepers, trauma-tuned antennas, childhood neglect or betrayal, tuned to charm's frequency, mistaking intensity for intimacy. Urban haste compounds it, fleeting interactions prime snap judgments, success myths glorify lone wolves over collaborators. Empaths and innovators crumble fastest, their patterns, botting twisted into excuse, making over-empathy fueling fixer fantasies. Global shift, remote work silos, economic squeezes, amplify vulnerability, charm filling voids where community once stood. Ignition for change sparks in micro moments, embedding vigilance into life's pulse. Morning commutes become audits, replay yesterday's exchanges, flag pivots from your wins to their woes. Work desks host truth logs, apps tracking contributions, auto-sharing to teams, charm-proofing legacies. Family breakfasts evolve to equity rounds. Each shares highs/lows equally. Timers enforcing balance, transforming tables into trust labs. Friendship check-ins via shared docs, rate energy flows post-hangout, recalibrating invites to mutuals only. Digital dawn rituals, feed fasts till noon, algorithm audits blocking charm cascades, reclaim timelines for tailored truths. Self-farmering weaves through routines, a daily forge of unbreakable core. Sunrise circuits, bodyweight flows sinking breath to intention, etching sovereignty into muscle memory. Midday micronutrients, greens, packed smoothies fuel neural shields, clarity cutting through flattery fog. Twilight wind downs, gratitude grids listing independent wins, rewiring validation from external to eternal. Skill sanctuaries solo, language apps conquering dialects, canvas strokes birthing abstracts. Proof of prowess sans applause. Sleep stacks, weighted blankets, white noise symphonies, lock in recovery, dawn alertness dodging exhaustion's surrender, tactical takedowns deploy with surgical grace, offices orchestrate credit circles, post, meeting shoutouts, rotating leads, egos starved collectively. Homes host promise packs, verbal contracts for chores/finances, breach logs triggering calm confrontations. Friend feeds filter fiercely, vibe veto for drainers, pop-up polls gauging group health. Online, collab charters outline splits up front, blockchain receipts for digital deeds, romantic rhythms, weekly real talk, rituals probing depths, no fluff failure shares testing humility's metal. Civic currents carry this forward, reshaping societal streams. Workplaces mandate charm audits, anonymous peer reviews docking dazzle for delivery gaps. Schools seed pattern playbooks, classroom skits decoding manipulation, kids graduating as discernment dynamos. Politics pulses with transparency tides alive, streamed decision logs, citizen scorecards grading rhetoric against results. Culture curates quiet spotlights, podcasts honoring unsung grinders, awards for alliance architects over solo stars. Healthcare horizons, intake quizzes flagging charm vulnerabilities, therapy tailored to boundary boot camps. These infusions accelerate life's alchemy, offices buzz with unclaimed breakthroughs, homes harmonize in equitable anthems, friendships flourish as fierce fellowships. Virtual veins pulse purposeful, feeds fueling fires not fads. Creativity cascades, novels drafted in distraction. Free dens, startups sparked sans parasitic pitches, vitality vaults, marathons crushed, gardens groaning with harvest, stress transmuted to stamina. Mundane miracles multiply, subway serendipities bloom alliances, grocery lines yield gems, ties transcend symphonies into sagas, harmonies holding through hurricanes, inner compass calibrates cosmic, career crescendos, passion pursuits, heartfelt horizons. Chaos converts to canvas, every encounter etched with empowered elegance. Imagine the soft glow of a corner cafe, steam rising from fresh brews as rain taps the window pane. You slide into a seat across from a new acquaintance whose eyes light up with in seeming curiosity, their questions peeling back your layers like pages from a favorite novel. Laughter flows, time dissolves, and by evening's end, you've shared dreams you rarely voice. Invitations follow, art exhibits, quiet dinners, each outing weaving you tighter into their orbit. But seasons shift, your passions sidelined for their spotlight, doubts planted like weeds in fertile soil, energy siphoned until mirrors show a stranger staring back. This is narcissistic charm threading through the quiet folds of lived experience, a subtle current steering destinies across workplaces, hearths, social webs, and lit nights. Anchored in unyielding psychological truths, we dive into its everyday alchemy, unveiling the ways it molds our hours and the precision tools that forge sovereignty from every breath. In the pulse of professional landscapes, this charm blooms as a double-edged catalyst, sparking brilliance only to harvest it solo. Visualize the open, plan office, fluorescent hum underscoring a brainstorming frenzy where the silver-hunged strategist sketches visions that electrify the room. Your input fuses seamlessly, data dives, creative twist, propelling pitches that seal multi-million deals. High fives echo, team morale soars, their toast crediting our unstoppable synergy. Yet, boardroom spotlights swivel, annual reports crown their solo genius, your name blurred in fine print, promotions rerouted through charm-fueled networks, careers plateau in these gilded cages, innovation choked as risk-takers retreat, fearing idea appropriation mid-flight. Life's ambition engine sputters, resumes gap with unexplained stalls, mentorships morph into exploitation, side ventures starved of focus as overtime feeds their facade. Wellness cascades, cortisol floods disrupt sleep cycles, gut health tanks from stress-fueled skips, turning peak performers into hollowed husks chasing validation mirages. Deepen into family enclaves where charm crafts legacy illusions that fracture under scrutiny. Envision holiday gatherings, the eloquent matriarch orchestrating feasts with flair, her anecdotes bridging generational chasms, grand tales of triumphs that inspire dyed wonder, cousins cluster, recipes exchanged, her warmth knitting frayed edges into tapestries of belonging. But ledger lines tell darker truths, joint accounts drained for inspirational, trips sans consultation, elder savings rerouted to her image upkeep, siblings shoulder silent burdens, unspoken loans, emotional labor, while her narrative paints them as ungrateful shadows. Life's kinship core corrodes, reunions rigidify into scripted roles, drearing wisdom twisted into control scripts, therapy circuits spin as inherited patterns replay in marital mismatches. Emotional echoes amplify teens' internalize conditional love, midlife crises erupt from suppressed voices, elder years shadowed by regret's quiet audit. Social spheres, those vibrant mosaics of choice, twist under charm's gravitational pull, reshaping gatherings into ego symphonies. Picture sunset picnics, the group's luminary unpacking charcuterie with panache, curating playlists that sink souls under starry skies. Toasts to your recent win land with amplified applause, their arm around your shoulder sealing sisterhood vibes. Yet, calendar creeps reveal the skew, your book club sidelined for their galas, triumphs eclipsed by relatable escalations, cliques calcify, inner circles shrink to their echo, outsiders labeled toxic to justify exclusions. Life's camaraderie canvas fades, weekend warriors wilt into solo Netflix nights, hobby guilds dissolve as energy ebbs, confidence is commodified into gossip fuel. Isolation incubates, friendships funneled through their filter until laughter rings hollow, a soundtrack to solitude's advance. Plunge into digital dimensions where charm cascades unbound, engineering realities from code and clicks. Dawn scrolls unveil that podcaster's raw thread, struggles mirroring your midnight musings, prompting shares that snowball into virtual villages. Live streams host queue, and as where your query spotlights, their reply a bespoke bomb boosting your bio's buzz. Affiliate links lure, courses promising their secret sauce, communities charging for camaraderie. But backend betrays, exclusive tiers gatekeep gains, algorithm tweaks bury dissenters, burnout broadcasts mask metric chases. Dating realms double down algorithms pair poetic profiles, voice notes vibrating with vulnerability that vaults to weekend getaways. Post-honeymoon haze, however, fades to fade-outs. Profiles pause mid-convo, blocks bury budding bonds. Life cyber streams stagnate, attention economies extract essence, creativity cloned into content mills, real ties traded for retweet rushes, leaving souls scrolling for substance in infinite voids. The snare's science simmers in synaptic slights. Oxytocin surges on mirrored rapport, forging false fortresses, past fractures. Abandonment echoes or approval droughts, calibrate compasses to charm's north. Hyper-connected haste hastens hooks, swipe speed judgments eclipse character cartography, influencer idols imprint charisma as currency, visionaries and feelers falter fiercest, intuition inverted into indulgence, empathy engines over-revving into enabler traps. Epochal eddies, gig economies, virtual villages, vacuum vulnerabilities, charm colonizing cracks where roots once ran deep, reclamation ignites in infinitesimal infusions, vigilance vascularized into veins. Twilight trains transform to tally time, voice memos dissect dialogues, tagging topic monopolies for pattern parades. Desk drawers cradle impact indexes, a spreadsheet's syncing efforts to outcomes, cloud. Synced for collective clarity. Dinner dialogues dawn equitable, round-robin recounts 5-minute caps cultivating chorus over solo, social sundowners script audits, post-picnic polls rating reciprocity, invite algorithms auto-balancing burdens. Screensavers set boundaries, app timers throttling threads, charm checkpoints, a pausing DM depths till dawn reviews, core conditioning courses through circadian currents, sculpting steel from sunrise to slumber. Aurora alignments, yoga flows fusing form to fortitude, imprinting independence in every inversion. Noon nourishments, fermented feasts firing focus, fortify filters against flattery floods. Dusk diaries delineate drains, quadrant charts quartering quarters, quadrants glowing with self-sourced sparks, mastery monasteries minus mirrors, pottery wheels whirling wares, guitar strings strumming solos, triumphs tallied intangible tomes. Nocturnal nests, aromatherapy veils, circadian lamps, cradle consolidations, awakening armored against allure. Counter-strikes carve with calibrated cunning, cubicles convene legacy loops, rotating recaps crediting cycles, charm circuits shorted systematically. Hearth huddles hammer equity edicts, chore charts chiseled in chalk, infraction incentives inspiring adherence. Fellowship forums forge vibe vaults, shared safe words signaling skews, exodus protocols prepped preemptively. Cyber compacts codify collab covenants, smart contracts sealing splits, transparency tokens tracking trades. Pairing protocols pace profoundly, probe phases, a parceling pasts, humility, heat maps highlighting heart. Societal surges sweep strategies seaward, sculpting systemic shields. Corporations codify authenticity essays, AI-flagged feedback forms finding facade fills. Academies animate discernment drills, VR vignettes vivisecting veneers, youth yielding to yoke, free years. Governance gears grind veracity valves of blockchain ballots, binding boasts to balance sheets. Electorate empowered by evidence engines. Media matrices magnify merit montages, docuseries dissecting diligence, Emmys elevating ensemble epics over ego extravaganzas. Wellness weaves resilience radars, clinic algorithms alerting allure exposures, bespoke boundary blueprints boosting breakthroughs. These elixirs electrify existence's essence. Boardrooms birth unburglarized brainwaves, homesteads hum harmonious hymns, alliances amplify as unbreakable arcs. Pixel planes propel purposeful pursuits, streams surging with selected sagas, ingenuity ignites, symphonies scored in silent studios, enterprises engineered absent ego anchors, vigor vaults skyward, summits scaled, orchards overflowing tension transfigured to tenacity. Everyday epiphanies erupt, cafe corners cradle coalitions, market meanders mine mentors, bonds burgeon into boundless ballads, refrains resilient through riptides, internal ignition illuminates infinity's vocation vaults, fervor flights, soulful sojourns. Turbulence transmutes to tapestries, interactions inscribed with invincible intent. Imagine the dawn breaking over a vast horizon, painting the world in hues of unyielding gold. You've walked this path with us, from the intoxicating lure of that first magnetic glance to the quiet dawn of your unbreakable resolve. Narcissistic charm no longer holds sway, its illusions shatter like glass under the weight of your awakened gaze. You've unmasked the predator, fortified your spirit, and stepped into a life where every connection pulses with authenticity. Every achievement stands unchallenged, every breath fuels your sovereign fire. This is your reckoning. Rise now, not as prey, but as the architect of destinies untarnished. Surround yourself with mirrors of truth, alliances that lift without leeching, pursuits that ignite your core. Let boundaries be your blade, discernment your shield, self-mastery your crown. In boardrooms, homes, streets, and screens, you command the narrative. No more stolen light, yours blazes eternal. Remember, the world bends to those who refuse its chains. You've stopped falling, you've started rising. Carry this truth into every tomorrow. Live fiercely, love deeply, lead boldly. Your liberation isn't just one. It's legendary, the charm fades, your power endures. Forever.